What is going on, guys and girls? It's Ghost Robo, and today we are talking about something that makes me super freaking excited. Probably my most anticipated anything for 2016, and that is the Nintendo NX. Yes, we are getting a new console this year. I would bet a ton of money on that. I firmly, wholeheartedly trust that Nintendo will be launching a brand new console this calendar year, 2016. We are getting the next generation of whatever it may be from Nintendo. And it's a perfect time to talk about it in a full video because rumors keep springing up left and right. It seems like every other day there's something new, and typically these are coming from more credible sources than just, whoever on NeoGAF or whoever on Twitter. A lot of them are being reported by analysts, newspapers, etc. So I want to kind of cover what's been said and then give you my thoughts and predictions. I have heard from a number of people that the NX is going to release this year, and I know a lot of people think that's far-fetched because nothing's been shown, nothing's been revealed, we don't even know exactly what it is, it's still in codename status. How will they reveal it and, get third parties on board and all of that and still launch by November of this year? I think it's fully happening. Let's talk about the rumors, though, first, and then we'll get to why I think it's launching and what I think it's going to be. And let me know in the comments below what you think the NX is going to be. So the first big rumor is that the NX is going to be a handheld and a console merged together. And back in January of 2013, Nintendo merged their handheld and home console development unit or divisions into one unit. And that is a big move for them because it is the first time in 9 years that they are reorganizing, and so now it would be technically 12 years, but back in 2013, first time in 9 years that they reorganized their development teams, and that leads you to believe, okay, that these units are coming closer and closer together in terms of the handheld department and the console department. And then you move to sort of how Nintendo throughout last year really talked about their new joint integrated online service, how everything would be kind of all one unified Nintendo. So you'd have stuff on smartphones, stuff on PC, the 3DS, the Wii U, the NX, all of it together. They sort of restructured all of their Nintendo account. They now have the new account system that puts everything, together in one place instead of having these disparate, separate systems, separate friend codes, separate, 3DS account and Wii U account and all the awkwardness tying them together. Now it's just one Nintendo account. More specifically, under the NX system, there was an article back in October of 2015, so only about 4 months ago, and the Wall Street Journal said that third parties had started receiving NX development kits. Now that would give them a solid year or more to develop games or at least make ports. I'm assuming that most of the top-tier titles will come straight from Nintendo. I would venture to say this console launches with The Legend of Zelda Open World, and it launches with a new 3D Mario game. Given the fact that Zelda has been delayed so many times, I think it will be a dual release on Wii U and NX, just like Twilight Princess was on GameCube and Wii, but the NX version will probably have additional features or better performance, better graphics, something along those lines, similar to the last transition for Twilight Princess. I also think the fact that they totally skipped out on Mario in 2015 and don't have anything announced for him in 2016 or anything revealed at E3 leads me to believe that a brand new Mario game, whether that's Mario Galaxy 3 or an open world Mario game to mirror what Zelda is doing, will be released with NX. But development kits are out there, and in the same month, October, there was also rumors that the NX is stronger than the PS4 and the Xbox One, which is not surprising. A lot of people believe that, Nintendo's going to put out this underpowered thing. The most recent rumor I've seen is that it's going to run and output at 900p. I mean, Nintendo does crazy things. I suppose that could be possible, but to me, that's absolutely asinine. Why would you release a console in 900p? I mean, I guess you're going to do 720p or something, or 1080p, but let's remember, guys and girls, the PS4 and Xbox One launched in 2012? Fall of 2012, so this is their fourth year. They cheaped out on hardware then. They were using... it launched in 2013, so this is their third year. They cheaped out on chipsets then, and they went with lower specs than they could have to save money. So the PS4 and Xbox One could have been stronger, and now it'll be 3 full years later. The Wii U is going to be just as stronger. I really believe that. I think that Will it have everything that the PS4 and Xbox One have? Probably not. But from a straight up power standpoint, I bet that this thing is really, really nice. The rumors back in October had quotes such as the development kit was very impressive hardware, incredibly powerful, and quite possibly faster than whatever Sony or Microsoft has in store. Last console generation was an extended cycle. The PS3, the Xbox 360 were around for 8, 9, 10 years, and that's just way longer than anything before. Most console generations last about 4 years or so. So when you think about it that way, the next Xbox is probably going to launch in 2018. So you're only 2 years away from the next Microsoft console. Do you really think Nintendo is that cheap that they're going to go with something that is worse than the PS4, worse than the Xbox One, which launched 3 years ago, and then would be 5 years prior to the new consoles, theoretically launching in 2018? And I think no. I mean, some people speculate that Nintendo is going to go for a super cheap box that retails like around $200, and therefore power would not be possible, and they'd just be looking to push units as quickly as they could. But I think that Nintendo has learned, after sort of the dwindling sales of Wii and the end of its life cycle, and the freaking colossal failure from a sales standpoint that the Wii U has been, that going underpowered and targeting casual exclusively is not a good idea. Games like Splatoon prove that Nintendo does have the design chops to rumble with the best of them, but they need to target the system towards a more hardcore audience. Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Splatoon, that is a great base, and that can carry a hardcore, devoted Nintendo nostalgic group. But if you're wanting to capture more than the couple million units that the Wii U has sold, you're going to need to attract third parties, and you're going to need the power to make them either A, super excited to develop for your platform, or B, super easy for them to just port what they have on Xbox One and PS4. So I firmly believe that this thing is going to output 1080p and be very strong. And I think from a number standpoint, it will be stronger than the PS4 and the Xbox One, especially because a lot of the talk has been about what does the NX stand for? Does it stand for Nintendo Cross? Does it just stand for NX randomly? Does it stand for some sort of integration between Nintendo's two branches of gaming, handheld, 3DS, console, Wii U? And I think that's what this will be. I think that they are going to merge them. I think they're going to leverage their strong handheld fan base and prowess with their sort of falling apart home console prowess to make a more powerful, united unit. Now, the real interesting part of this becomes, will they be able to be operated wholly separately, or are they going to require each other? And I think that they will be able to operate separately. As much as I think Nintendo wants to integrate the two and have a very successful home entertainment console, I don't think that they would be willing to totally sacrifice the handheld market that is especially popular in their home country of Japan. I think that the NX will be a dual threat machine in the sense that it has a handheld to go with a home console, but I think that they'll be able to operate independently, meaning you will be able to buy them separately and you will be able to buy them together. Now, that's where it gets really tricky and where even I get confused, because I don't know how you market a together system that also can be sold separately without confusing the heck out of people, and that's something that Wii U struggled with. A lot of people believe the Wii U was just an add-on for the Wii, and didn't really recognize that this was a sequel system instead of just a gamepad upgrade. So I think that they are going to, whatever they do, it's going to be difficult, and I hope that they're prepared for that. I think one way they can really win people over is if that new handheld is significantly stronger than the 3DS. We look at the Vita, which is a very powerful handheld, probably definitely the most powerful handheld that we've seen in terms of graphics, and that thing came out in February of 2012. If this thing launches in October of 2016, that's almost 5 years that they could have had to develop new graphics, new ability for a handheld to really pack a punch and surprise people. The 3DS itself, the original 3DS came out in 2011. So this came out before the Vita in America. Again, we're talking 6 years old. So that is old tech. You're talking, think about, from like the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2 generation, or from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3, you can have a significant bump. And so I think whatever handheld they drop is going to be significantly more powerful. My idea and hope would be that the console and the handheld can play the same games, and therefore they can be ported around, not from another developer to another console, but you personally porting them from your home life to your travel life, and that would accommodate both the Asian market and the American market, as well as the younger market and the older market, bringing a little bit of something for everybody and catering to however you choose to play your games. It also would be a counter to mobile games, and even though mobile games are usually successful for their bite-sized nature and their quick playability, I think if you were able to take Zelda Wii U, or I guess Zelda NX, Mario NX on the go on the train, it would put your phone back in your pocket a little more easily than a 3DS. I really think that would be a significant help. I mean, imagine if PS4 Remote Play didn't require Wi-Fi, didn't require anything, and you could just take Fallout 4, you could just take Uncharted 4, you could just take, The Last Guardian, or Assassin's Creed or Black Ops 3 on the go with you. That would be a big selling point. And so I think that they are going to, I hope, play the same games. Now, some people have supposed that maybe this is a digital-only infrastructure where everything is downloaded and then it's just streamed to the handheld. I don't think that's the case. Nintendo would not sacrifice their relationships with the Walmarts and the Targets and the Best Buys and the GameStops of the world. They still need physical product to sell, and I think they very much will. They have never really trusted online fully. I don't know why all of a sudden they would go all in more than any other company has with online, especially after Microsoft's colossal PR failure trying to market the Xbox One as an online-only system. So I think it will be physical media. I'm not sure how you would get that from your Wii U or from your NX, I guess, to the handheld NX, unless they come up with their own sort of disc, but that has failed them multiple times in the past. Stuff like the GameCube didn't work out with the strange form factor. We saw it with UMDs on the PlayStation Portable. So I think that it will be regular discs. I just don't know how you get that to the NX, unless the NX is a download-only console and the home console is a disc base, and that is totally feasible because people are accustomed and used to downloading things on their phone and not having any physical media to slide in. For a home console, I don't think it makes sense, especially since you need that brick and mortar presence in the game aisles, in the holiday aisles, in the sale aisles to really push sales and promote your product to a larger audience than just the Nintendo faithful. A lot of people speculate on their mobile movement. They've said that they want to work to make more mobile games, have a presence there in that field, try to bring their beloved properties to that market. And they partnered with Dina to do that, and nothing has really come of that so far. I don't think the NX is where this is going to be. I think the NX will be still their core driving company product, and then the mobile stuff will be a sort of side venture, similar to how they want to invest in theme parks and movies and things like that. An interesting comment from last June is that Miyamoto said that he has taken a step back from NX development after having a very huge role, an important role in the Wii and Wii U. That also leads me to believe that this will be a more traditional console. The more that you remove the old guard, the forefathers of Nintendo, the more likely you are to get a modernized system driven by more business-savvy individuals. And not to say that Miyamoto isn't business-savvy, he's a phenomenal designer, but I believe that his unique spin on games, while magical for software, is not so great for hardware. And I think it would be fantastic that someone new was at the helm for this upcoming console. They also confirmed in December that the NX will move away from the Wii and Wii U titling, move away from the Wii and Wii U sort of platform. And again, this really firmly cements in my mind that it's not going to be strictly motion-based. It's not going to be entirely gimmick-based. It's going to be more of a console for gamers that still has probably some Nintendo flair, which means you may have a touchpad controller, which means you may have weird handheld console integration, which means you'll surely have Amiibo, but I don't think that this is going to be so odd that it detracts from it as a main game console. Apparently they don't know what the NX means. The new president says that he doesn't know where it came from or why it is. I still think the X has to do with cross, and they're just not saying that. They're very secretive. I don't really trust any of the rumors per se, because I think Nintendo is very good at keeping things under wraps. But I do think the ones about the development kits are sort of your best telltale sign for where you'd find truth. Nintendo also talks about Iwata mentioned that software is really, really important to them, and they want to make a new platform that encourages a more active use rate to sustain interest in future games. Again, gimmick-based technology does not increase use rate for future stuff. You got to get something that is going to look to the future and be doesn't have to be exactly, the most hyper cutting edge system ever made, but it has to be up there, and the specs have to be ready to really impress the heck out of some people, especially those who've been skeptical. Now, one thing that will be kind of difficult for Nintendo is convincing people that they will not go away from the Wii or the NX as fast as they did the Wii U. But again, I think the Wii U is a total anomaly. I think it's a misstep. And I think that it did deliver quite a few great games. The Wii U came out in 2012, so it has been a 4-year cycle if we suppose that the NX released in 2016. So realistically, that's not that far. You're not looking at they dipped out after a year, they screwed people over after 2. 4 years is what typically we came to expect from console generations. So the fact that they had Mario 3D World, the fact that they had Mario Kart 8, the fact that they had Pikmin 3, a Yoshi game, a Kirby game, they really kind of delivered on all of their main franchises, save for Zelda. Now, a lot of people still believe that Zelda will come to Wii U and not NX, and I think that Zelda Wii U's delay is one of the firmest signs that NX is releasing this fall. I don't think there's any way that Nintendo throws out a Zelda game that they've clearly invested a lot of time and money and ideas on to a Wii U user base that is as small as it is. I think that they would much rather use that to bolster the launch lineup for their new product and really convince people that, hey, here's why you want to jump to the next generation. This Zelda game is the best fit for a new platform, and that is why you want it. Sure, you can play it on the Wii U, but you're better off playing on the NX. I definitely think it'll come to both. I don't think that they're going to screw people over entirely and be like, haha, buy a new system. But I do think it will be a dual release, and I think the fact that it's delayed beyond any release date whatsoever, there's no spring date, there's no summer date, there's no date at all, tells me that this game is coming out with the NX. And I think no better way to launch your new system than with a Mario and a Zelda title. I think they're ready to go all in. And I think they're ready to really deliver something superior to what we've come to expect from Nintendo in the last decade. Wii was a very huge success. It put Nintendo back at the forefront, but for reasons that were not really mainstream related, at least gaming mainstream. Sure, Today Show mainstream. Sure, mom and son soccer family mainstream. Sure, hang out in your room with your cousins and your grandparents mainstream, but not gamer culture mainstream. And I think they would like to recapture some of that. I really think this will be a landmark release for them. I think it'll be their coolest system to date, frankly. Merging both of their branches to me is incredibly exciting. Whatever it ends up being, whether it's just transferring your games from the Wii or the NX, gosh, they got that Wii name firmly implanted in my mind. But whether they need a better name than NX, I think that's it. NX is just not memorable. And obviously they'll come up with something. I would be fine for them just calling it Nintendo. Honestly, I think that might be a good idea. But anyhow, Nintendo became synonymous with gaming back in the 90s, and I think going back to that would be really cool. Anyhow, whether it's just transferring games, from the Wii U, or from the NX to the handheld to take them on the go, or some unique integration where the handheld serves as a controller for the console and then, can play smaller games, or maybe, what if they did this? What if they said, okay, you're going to get a gamepad-like controller with your NX console. It'll play the latest new Nintendo games. We got a brand new Mario. We've got a brand new Zelda. We've got all the stuff from third parties. So, games of next year, 2016 and 2017, will release the new Call of Duty, the new Assassin's Creed, yada, 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 Watch Dogs 2, Titanfall 2, we got it. But then what if they said, okay, your controller is also backwards compatible with all 3DS and DS games, so you can play your entire library of that there. That way they don't really isolate or ostracize or upset the people who invested heavily into their previous handheld market. They could also make the thing backward compatible with the Wii U. So you go disc-based on the console, it's Wii U backward compatible, take all your Wii U games. We already have a great built-in library of stuff like Mario Kart 8 and Pikmin and Mario 3D World and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and new games. And then the controller can be a backwards compatible 3DS DS machine that you can take on the go or use as the controller for the home console. I think that would be a knockout for me. I don't know about you guys. I think if the system came out with stronger visuals and stronger horsepower than the PS4 and Xbox One, backwards compatible with Wii U, and a controller that also doubled as a take-on-the-go independent handheld that could play all 3DS and DS games, that would be incredible. Now, the only error with that prediction, or the only flaw in that hypothesis, is what new games would they make then for the handheld? Because they're going to need something. And I think the 3DS has sort of ran its course. I don't know that they'll continue to make 3DS games. They've tapped out just about every property on that console multiple times. You look at like how many Pokemon games and how many Zelda games and whatnot. I think they're ready for something new. In that case, they could develop new games that also could play on that controller. But this is what leads me back more towards the whatever you want to say, like the more simple integration that the console and the controller can separate and play the same games. That way, development has been unified. That way, all games are synonymous across platforms, and that way you can take them on the go or at home. The only issue would be how do they handle that graphically, unless, given 5 years since the 3DS, they've been able to work up quite the powerhouse in the palm of your hand, and it can play things that are far more pretty than the PlayStation Vita. In the same way that you can stream Fallout 4 to the Vita, or Infamous to the Vita, and it doesn't look as good but still looks awesome, perhaps they can have some sort of downgrade in place where it's not running everything, or almost like a PC, where the settings are able to be scaled down for that handheld instead of the console. Nonetheless, I'm super excited because I know this thing's coming out this year. New consoles are always my favorite part of gaming in general, even if they end up disappointing in some ways, like the Wii U. The excitement of a brand new machine with brand new games, brand new controls, brand new menus, all of it, it's like falling in love for the first time all over again. You get to explore and experiment and get excited by everything for the first time, even if it's just scrolling through the menus, figuring out how to save, go online, create a username, make a me. All of that will be super cool. The fact that it is fresh and fun and hopefully freaking amazing. So let me know your thoughts on the NX down in the comments below, what you think it will be, what you hope it will be, any ideas. I'm going to be reading through them. I hope I find some really good ones, and maybe we'll have a follow-up video talking about you guys' ideas. So definitely let me know those in the comments down below. I cannot wait for this year. I cannot wait for E3. Stuff like Horizon, Titanfall 2, Gears of War 4, Zelda. Hopefully NX will be there, and hopefully it'll be a show to remember. Last year was good, but I think 2016 will be great. You guys are even better. So until next time, everyone, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day. Until next time, drink so much chocolate. We will see you all later.